Okay, and I'm going to jump to my Realtour account and hopefully everybody can see. Oh, wait, you know what? I just did that without sharing my screen. Give me a sec here. Okay, share the entire screen. Okay, so I'm on my dashboard. I've logged into my Realtor account. I'm just moving my mouse around. Can you guys just let me know if you can see my screen?
I can see it.
Okay, great. Wonderful. All right. So then I'm just going to jump in and get started. So like I said, I'm going to give you guys more of an overview just because you're not actually going to be using the software yourselves. Um, This is the Realtor dashboard. Everybody has the same dashboard, okay? So we have real estate agents who have accounts with us, we have photographers, and we have title company sales reps. But when you log in, everybody's got the same dashboard, and you're going to see the same suite of products: photo shoots, virtual tours, e-flyers, print materials, and then floor plans. We're going to cover today how an agent would book a photo shoot, which they will then use the beautiful photos that they've just purchased in their virtual tour. And then we're going to go through our two e-flyer products. And we'll spend a little more time on the e-flyers because this is our main product. This is our bread and butter product. The majority of our clients use us to blast out e-flyers. So I imagine that your clients will be most interested in that. We're not going to touch on print materials simply because to make a print flyer, it's the exact same as making an e-flyer. The only difference is that instead of blasting it out digitally, you just download a PDF. So I'll remind you of that at the end, okay? All right, so let's jump in. Let's get started. Let's pretend that I am a real estate agent and I just got a new listing and I'm really excited for my listing and I want to book a photo shoot. I've got my Realtor account. We have a fleet of photographers that work with us and I want to spend a little bit of money and get some decent professional photography that I can then use in all of my marketing products, okay? So I log into my Realtor account. All I have to do is click on the big button that says photo shoots. Okay. And then the next page is going to show me all of my existing listings that I've already created in my Realtor account. So if you're one of our clients who's been with us for a while and you use us to make all your marketing products for all your listings, your page is going to look like this. You're going to have a whole bunch of listings already created, and all of your marketing material will be stored under the specific listing. Okay, so that's how you can access existing marketing products to make additional or to go in and make edits, all that stuff. But if you're coming in for the first time because it's a brand new listing, the first thing you have to do is create the listing. You cannot order a product until you've set up the listing. So we'll start with that. You simply click on the Create Listing button. And the next page is what we call the Property Details page. All I have to do to get started is fill in the required fields that are underlined in green. It's just the address, right? I can't really do anything unless I have my listing address set up. So let's just make up a listing address. Let's just call it, Wednesday Street because it's Wednesday. And let's just choose Austin. Let's assume that we are in, whoops, Austin. And there's my zip code. Okay, so that's all I had to do to get the create listing button to show up. So just fill in the address, okay? So I could click on create listing and move to the next step. But before I do that, and this is something I always suggest to agents, if you see here, there is an optional add more details button. If I click this, I then get the opportunity to add in all the additional details for the property, everything, the price, the square footage. I can put in a little header and I can type in a full description, property description paragraph, right? I always say to agents, if you have the information and you have even 5 minutes, take the time to fill in this page. And I just say it because, as you guys will see, a lot of this information will auto populate into your marketing material templates. So if you do it now, it's done, and then it will save you time further down the road, and I'll show you that. And you can always come back into this page in the back end of any of our products. And these fields are all editable. They're all live. You can go in and click on them, make any changes you need to make, okay? But to get started, let's say I only have time to start the listing and then I've got a meeting and I want to get that photo shoot booked. All I have to do is click on Create Listing. Okay, and the next page is going to show me all of the available photographers that service the zip code of the listing I just made. because our photographers are throughout the state of Texas and a few other states as well, but they don't cover every single zip code, right? It's just too big of a territory. So when I'm on this page, I can see which photographers are available. I could click on their portfolio to have a look. I can click on their pricing to have a look. I can see which days have openings. I can see which services they offer. Okay. So you can choose the photographer that you like. Most of our agents have a total, relationship with a favorite photographer, and that they always book with the same photographer. They do all their listings. They phone each other. They have a good relationship, right? So most of our agents will come in and just book from the same photographer. Let's just say for today that let's say Philip Rogers is my favorite photographer, and he's the guy I always use, and I see he has an opening tomorrow. Well, that's perfect. I want to book tomorrow. I want to get this done as quickly as possible. All I do is click on tomorrow's date, and then the next page is going to show me in more detail all of Philip's packages and his pricing. So I can scroll down and see what he offers. I can find the one that I want and just tick it, and then I can move to the next page. Okay, the next page, all I'm going to do on this page is give Philip, the photographer, any additional instructions that he needs to access the property. So if there's a lockbox code, if the owner's going to be there, I can put their name and phone number. I can type in a little note to Philip and give him any additional instructions. All that good stuff you can do on this page. And when you're done with that, you simply click Add to the shopping cart. And now I'm in the shopping cart. So I can just have a quick look, review my order. Here's my listing address. This was the date. This was the photo shoot I ordered. And you'll notice Platinum Virtual Tour for free. So this is another reason I always suggest to agents that it's worth it to book a photo shoot. Not only do you get the use of beautiful professional photography for all of your listing marketing materials, you will get a free platinum tour with every photo shoot. And a platinum tour is worth $30. And it doesn't matter which photo shoot you order. You could order the absolute cheapest photo shoot you can find. You will always get a free platinum virtual tour. So it's just another incentive to go ahead and book that photo shoot. Okay. Once I pay for this, the order goes into the photographer's schedule. The photographer will probably contact me because that's usually what they do. They'll go out and do the photo shoot. And then when they're done the photo shoot, we have created a whole back end in our system for our photographers. So they can go into the back end, they will upload the pictures, and then they will send the pictures into my back end and create the virtual tour. So we've done this so that it just alleviates the difficulty back in the day of trying to get big files from the photographer to the agent, right? And a lot of agents didn't really understand how to use Dropbox. They didn't understand how to unzip a folder, all that stuff. It used to be messy. People are better at it now. But just to make everyone's life easier, we created a whole back end for our photographers to manage their scheduling, and they can upload the pictures, create the virtual tour, and just hit one button and it all gets sent to me in my Realtour account. So I'll get an email when the photo shoot is done saying, Jana, Philip has finished your photo shoot. You can download the pictures right here from the email, or you can log into your Realtour account, go look at the pictures, go look at the virtual tour. Okay, so it just makes it really seamless. Now I'm going to delete this order out of my shopping cart, and you'll notice there's always a delete button next to anything you order in case you get to the shopping cart and you've made a mistake. So let's delete that out of the shopping cart so we don't accidentally book a photo shoot. All right, I'm going to go back to the home page. Now, I just wanted to show you guys how quickly you can book a photo shoot, especially if you use the same photographer. And a lot of our agents even use the same packages, right? Depending on the listing. So you can do that in 5 minutes if you need to. Up next, let's go ahead and make a virtual tour. Now, virtual tours are also known as single property websites, basically because it's a mini website that just features one of your listings. We tried to rebrand it and call them single property websites, but honestly, it just did not catch on. So we're still calling them virtual tours, and you will see that there actually is a virtual tour embedded within the single property website. And a virtual tour is that sort of old school presentation where you have still photography and the pictures transition into each other and you have music playing in the background. They're kind of nice. Some of our agents still love them, so that's why we haven't discontinued them, but we've put them in the body of a single property website. Okay, so let's say I got my photo shoot done. I'm all excited. I'm going to come in and do my virtual tour. I just click on virtual tours. And once again, I have landed on the listing page. So you'll see as we go along, there's a lot of repetition, and we do this just because it makes it easier to use. Once you know how to use one of our products, you'll know how to do anything else in our site, okay? And you'll notice here as well, here's the listing that I created for the photo shoot. So you never have to create the listing more than once, right? Doesn't matter. Once you've created that listing, it will always be here on your listing page, depending, it doesn't matter what product you click on, it's going to be sitting here waiting for you. Now, I could go ahead and under options, create the tour and go through the whole process. But to save us some time, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to click on one of my existing listings that already has all the content right here, 111 Main Street, Austin. Now, this is not a real listing. None of my listings are real, by the way. They're just fake that I create for testing and training. But this listing already has all my pictures uploaded and all my text and information. And again, I'm just going to use this listing to save us some time. We will go through all the steps so you can see, but this will save us time. So under options, I'm going to click on edit the tour because I want to go into the back end of the tour. Okay. You'll notice across the top, we have what we call a navigation bar. So again, in the back end of all our products, we use a navigation bar like this, and it's just so you can step through the different steps of the product, or you can skip them if you want. Not all of these features are mandatory. Some of them are just optional, and some people will literally fill in their property details, upload their media, and then jump to the end, add it to their shopping cart or whatever, and they'll skip everything in the middle, and that's totally fine. And if you come back in here, even after you've published your tour or paid for it and you want to make edits, you can just come in the back end and just jump to whatever page you want to. You don't have to go next, next, next through all the steps, okay? And you'll see this navigation bar in all of our products. So let's just quickly run through them. The first one is property details. Now this page might look familiar because this is what it looked like when we ordered the photo shoot and I had to create the listing. Now I've got all the content filled in. Okay, so it just looks a little different. It's got all the good stuff in there. And I even have a picture because I've already uploaded my pictures. And again, even though this was created ages ago, I can come in here at any time and click in any of these fields and make whatever edits I need to, hit save, and it updates automatically. Okay. Okay, after property details, we have media. Now, this is definitely the most important part of your virtual tour because it's a visual presentation. You need some media in there. Most people are going to upload still photography. So when you click on media, you're going to land on the still photos tab because it's the default, because it's what most people use. Now, I can upload my own pictures next to photos. I can click on upload images because, and I should mention this now, not everybody books a photo shoot through us, and that's totally fine. You do not have to use our photographers to use our products. If you have your own photographer that you use, or, a lot of agents will go out and take their own pictures even, right? And that's totally fine. You can come in here, purchase a virtual tour, and then your images are not going to be sitting here waiting for you. My images are sitting here all ready to go because I booked a photo shoot and my photographer uploaded the pictures. But if you have your own images under photos, you would just upload your images, okay? And then they're going to show up here in little thumbnails. And then you can click on the little thumbnails and move them around to change the order, because the order that I see them here is the order they're going to show up in the slideshow. I can also click on them and you'll see it says caption. If I wanted to add a little bit of a text caption, on some of the pictures just to call out some features of specific rooms and stuff, I can do that. Optional, you don't have to. You'll notice in addition to still photography, you can upload pano photography. You can upload videos if you've maybe hired a videographer or a photographer to do a video walkthrough of your property. Maybe you've got like a drone flyover and they're doing a video. A lot of our clients will book a Matterport walkthrough tour with our photographers. They offer that. If you have any sort of custom links, one of our photographers does Zillow walkthrough tours. So he'll go in, do the tour, and then upload that as a custom link. If you have floor plans, some people have floor plans for the property, you can upload those as well. And then you'll also notice here headshots and logos. So another quick thing that I always teach agents when they come in and make their account for the first time. When you first make your account for the first time, come up to my account and fill in all of your contact info, upload any social media URLs that you have. Maybe you've got some social media sites set up specifically for your real estate business, and your headshots and logos, go ahead and upload them. You only have to do this stuff once, okay? And just like when I filled in the property details, if you fill in all of your account information, then when you are making a virtual tour or an e-flyer, all that information is going to auto-populate into the product, into the template, okay? And you never have to do it again. It doesn't mean you can't go in and make edits later, but if you just do it at the beginning, it'll already be there for you, okay? And you'll see that because we will look at the front end of this virtual tour once we go through the back end. So that's the media page, right? Next up, we have a map. All it is a Google map. You don't have to do anything on this page. We've placed a marker at the listing address, okay? So all you do on this page is just verify that that marker is in the right location because as we all know, Google Maps doesn't always get it completely accurate. So if it's not in the right place, you're just gonna click on it and just shift it to wherever it should be, okay? So super easy. Next up is floor plans. This is optional. Not everybody has a floor plan for their listing. Totally fine. If you don't have one, you would just skip this step. If you do have one, and I have a few that I uploaded back here on the media page, so my floor plans show up here. I've got 3 uploaded. Probably most people would just have one, but you never know. You can have 3, 4, 5 if you want. And then I can leave the floor plan nice and clean like this, or if I want to further illustrate it with photography, you'll notice over here, there are little thumbnails of all of my listing media pictures here. And if I want to add them to the floor plan, I can drag and drop the little thumbnails over. Like there's a picture of the living room. So I'm going to drag that to the living room, right? And then when someone's looking at this from the front end, they can click on the little camera icon and they get to see a picture of what the actual room looks like. So that's just a little added feature if you want to do that. And you can drag and drop a whole bunch of these pictures over here if you want. There we go. Okay, easy. Next up is flyer. Now, depending what order you make your marketing products in, you may or may not have already created an e-flyer or a piece of print material for this listing. If you haven't, don't worry about it. This page will just be empty and it will say, you can leave, you can exit the virtual tour right now, go make your flyer and then come back and a little thumbnail of it will be sitting here waiting for you, but you don't have to, you can always do it later. I, of course, already have some flyers made for this listing because it's a test listing and my flyers are going to show up here. Now, if I want one of my flyers to be associated with the virtual tour, meaning that someone can go into the virtual tour and then click on the flyer and download a PDF of it, all I need to do is choose whichever flyer I want and just drag and drop it over here. Okay? And you might say, well, why would anyone want to do that? They're in the digital website. Why would they also want to, click on a flyer and download a PDF? Let me tell you, you would be surprised. I mean, there are a lot of our features that seem kind of retro and a bit old fashioned, and we have tried to, you know, remove them, just get rid of them because we're thinking the same thing. You're in a digital presentation. Why would you want to download a PDF? But people want to. There are a lot of people who want to be able to look at the website, look at the listing, and then print a PDF on a piece of paper and have that piece of paper to take with them to the open house. So that's why we've got this in here. It's easy for us to have. You don't have to use it if you don't want it associated with your tour. But every time, I swear, every time we try to remove something that seems old fashioned, some agent somewhere hollers at us and says, you have to bring it back. My clients love it. So that's the explanation for that. Okay. Okay, next up, branding. We don't offer a lot of branding for these virtual tours, but you do have a couple options. So what we're looking at right here is basically the footer of your virtual tour slash single property website. Okay, and we're showing this here so that you can see how it's going to look and you can make a couple branding decisions. So for example, the background, you can change the color. And if I were to change the color right here, the system is going to load it up and it's going to show me how it looks right here. Okay, so you can get an idea. Oh, I like that. It matches my logo. I'm going to keep the blue. You can choose between a few different fonts because there is quite a bit of text in the presentation. You can choose to show all of your other Realtour listings or you can keep them hidden. So down at the bottom, there'll be a list of all your other listings if you want to also advertise those. They have to be set up in Realtour though. Okay, they're not just going to show listings that you just have anywhere else on your website or the MLS. They have to be set up in Realtour for us to communicate with them. I can show just me, one agent, or if I'm working with a second agent, I can have two agents down here, contact information, and then I can just see what my headshot, my logo, and all my contact information looks like. Now, the reason this information is already sitting here ready to go is because I filled it in under my account when I first set up my account. And like I said, when I'm training an agent, that's where we start. I get them to fill in the my account stuff. However, as you'll see, you can always click on these and make changes. You could upload a different headshot if you wanted. You could fill in a different phone number, anything you need to do. You can always edit it along the way. So there's always a chance to edit it if you didn't do the other stuff at the beginning. So it's all good. Okay, so after branding, we have SEO. So SEO used to be a total mystery. It used to be something that was so new and cutting edge. Most people are familiar with SEO. It just stands for search engine optimization, right? So what we're giving people is just the opportunity to pick out a couple keywords that best describe their listing, right? And they can put them right up here. To make it easier, we have taken the property description text, that paragraph that you had on your property details page, and we've put it here. And then if you can't think of any keywords, you can choose keywords out of here and put them up here, okay? And the hope is that when someone is on whatever search engine they like to use, like Google, and they're searching for whatever they're looking for, a 4-bedroom house in Austin with a swimming pool, if they type that in, if you've got some keywords that match the keywords they're searching for, the hope is that your virtual tour is going to show up in those search results for them, somewhere near the top, hopefully, right? This is an optional thing. You don't have to add keywords if you don't want to, but really it only takes a minute. So why wouldn't you, right? I mean, you might as well improve your options or your chances of getting discovered. So I always say take a minute, just type in some keywords, super easy. Okay. Next up is music. So as I mentioned, it's really what this product is, a single property website with a static slideshow. But embedded within the single property website is that traditional virtual tour with the pictures that transition into each other. And if you want, you can have background music playing along with that virtual tour. So we have a whole bunch of little music clips. You can click on any of these. You guys won't be able to hear that because I have a headset on, but you can click on these and just test, see which ones you like. If there's one you want, you just tick it. If you don't want music at all, just tick no music. Okay? That's all you do on this page. All right. Next up is preview. So I'm going to click on preview and it's going to open a proof of my virtual tour in a new tab. Okay, so I'm going to click on preview and it's taking me, here we go, it's going to load. Now I have a really wide monitor, so this is going to look kind of crazy. I'm going to make this more the size of what someone's actual monitor would look like. Most people are working on laptops, so more people are going to see it looking like this, okay? Instead of like stretched really wide. Okay, so this is opened in a new tab. So technically, it's now live on the Realtour servers, okay? So don't worry, it's not out there on the internet for people to find. It's just live on our servers so that I have the opportunity to go through it and I can click on everything. Everything that's clickable will work, and it's my chance to make sure that everything looks the way I want it to look. Okay, so you'll see what I mean. It looks like a mini website. And if I scroll down, see, it's just like a mini website that features my listing. Up here at the top in the header, this is my little paragraph, my little header that I put in, my address, my price. Here's my contact information. Here are all the tabs for the different parts of the property website. Up here at the top is just a static slideshow. So I can just click next, next, next. Look at all my beautiful pictures. Fabulous. I can scroll down and here's an actual gallery. So I can open up all of these pictures and they open up full size without getting cropped at all to fit in the slideshow. And I can go through these if I want. If I scroll down a bit further, here's my property details, right? I can download the flyer because remember I had a little flyer, so I can download a PDF of that here. We also have the ability to forward this to a friend. This was not something we had to set up in the back end. We just put that in there for you. So I could enter an email address and send this to anybody else who I want to see this presentation. Scroll down, here's a video. Now this is just a terrible 5-second video of my bookshelf. I should probably get a proper one in here. But if you have a proper video, this is just to show you that when you load it up, it plays right here in the body of the website. You don't have to like open a new tab and exit out of the website. It plays right here, which is nice. Here's my floor plan, and I had a couple pictures that I put on there, so those will show up nice. Um, oh, here's my location map, and this is a live Google map, right? Because if you're not familiar with the neighborhood, you might want to zoom in. You might want to say, well, what's around this? What's near this? Oh, I see this, right? So it's a Google Maps. You can play around in that. Scrolling down further. Oh, right. I added a custom link to a Zillow walkthrough tour. Now, if you had a Matterport tour or something like that, you could add those links as well, and it will show up in here, and I can click and actually go in and do the whole little walkthrough tour without leaving the presentation of my single property website, right? So that's nice. Like if I had a Matterport tour, it would do the same thing. I can go through here. Okay. And then when I get to the bottom, I have my contact information, right? All my good stuff here, and then a little form that they can fill in if they want to contact me. Okay, so basically, like I said, it's just a simple little single property website that features my one listing. And I'm in a different tab. So if I notice that there's something wrong, maybe I've got too many pictures. I want to delete a couple pictures. I want to change the order of them. I noticed a typo in one of my captions. I noticed a mistake down here. Remember, you're in a different tab. I can jump back to Realtour, and I'm just going to make this big again. I can jump right back to where I was, and I'm right where I left off, which was the music page, because remember, I clicked preview. I can then jump back, go through any of the steps I want, make any edits, click preview again, and this will refresh and show me my latest changes. And I can do that as many times as I need to until I get it right. Okay? So you have the opportunity to fully test it out live on our servers before you either pay for it or put it out there on the MLS or wherever you want to put it. Okay? Okay, last but not least for this product are the links. So this is where we store all the live links that you're going to need for this single property website. Okay. And here on the first tab is just the general links. So we have a branded link that has all your headshot and everything. We also have an unbranded link because different MLSs allow different things. Okay, so you can choose whichever one you want. We also have a link for just the slideshow, right? Because some people just want to watch the virtual tour part of it. They want to send that to their clients. So we've got that. We have a link where you could embed this presentation into a website if you wanted. Okay, so we put all your links here. You can also purchase a custom domain name. So right now, if you look at this is your domain name. So it does say virtual tour realtor.biz and then the listing address. Most people don't mind. They're like, you know what? No one's ever going to notice that. Or wherever they post this, there's just a button that says click here to watch the virtual tour. And they may never actually see this URL. But having said that, we have a number of clients who do purchase a custom domain name. So for an additional $20, you can come to domain name, type in what you want it to be, 111mainstreet.com, and then check to see if it's available. If it's available, you're good to go. We'll add $20 to your shopping cart. And once you pay for it, the URL will now be where you go to see your virtual tour. Okay. QR code. For every listing you create in our system, we automatically generate a free QR code. Okay. You don't have to pay for it. You don't have to use it if you don't want to, but it's sitting here and you can download a JPEG of it. And then, a lot of people get signage made for their properties. So they'll want to put the QR code on the sign, and then anybody driving by or walking by can scan it with their phone, and up will pop the virtual tour, the mobile version, or they can get home and do it there. You know what I mean? So you can send this to, maybe you've got a graphic designer who's going to make you a brochure for your listing, and you want that to be on the brochure. You can download it here and use it however you want. YouTube. For those of our agents who have YouTube channels that they've created specifically for their real estate business, you can take the single property website, the virtual tour portion, and we will generate it into a video of the still photography moving, and the music and all that stuff, the captions, and we can send it to your YouTube channel. Okay, so I went ahead and did that before the class, and it's still queued for processing, so I apologize. Normally it would be sitting here in a nice little video and you could see it, but it's taking long this morning. If you don't have your own YouTube channel, you can still send it to the Realtour generic YouTube channel. If you just want it to be on YouTube, you can do that here. And then custom link. Remember, I had a Zillow custom link that I put in here. So the link for that is sitting here. So if you want to use the Zillow tour as a standalone piece of marketing and you don't want it embedded within the virtual tour, you can use the link for that here. Okay? Last but not least, statistics. Bear with me, we're almost done the virtual tour. Statistics. Every Monday, Realtour sends all of our agents an email with a list of all their listings, and they can click on each of those listings and check the statistics for that listing. Now, the statistics, depending on what marketing material you have made, so if you've got a virtual tour, the statistics are just going to show you how many people have watched your virtual tour and what did they click on. Did they click on the flyer? Did they click on your email address? Like whatever it is they watched, whatever they clicked on, same thing with e-flyers. If you send out an e-flyer, we're going to track the statistics for how many people opened the e-flyer, how many people clicked on it, did you have additional links, what did they click on, all that stuff. So our stats reports are, they're not super in depth because there's a lot of information that we cannot give you, like names of people who clicked on it. We can't do that, but it is a nice little view into how many people actually saw your stuff. And if you added something different, like maybe a different link that you don't normally use, you can check and see how many people actually clicked on that. Is there interest? If there is, I'll do it going forward. Okay. So we send that to the agent every Monday. But if I'm the real estate agent and I also want my client, the homeowner, to get a copy of the stats report for this particular listing, I can just add their name and email and they will get a stats report, but just for this listing. They don't need to see my stats on all my listings. Okay. So you can do that as well. All right, we've reached the end of virtual tour. Let's go back to the dashboard. Okay, next up, we're going to go through our e-flyer products. Okay, and like I said, these are our bread and butter products. This is what most people use us for. And as I mentioned earlier, when I was talking about the virtual tour and photography, clients do not have to use all of our products, okay? You do not have to use our photographers and our virtual tours in order to use our e-flyers. We have lots of clients who only use us for e-flyers. We have lots of clients who only use us for virtual tours. We are okay with that. You know what I mean? Like this is a do-it-yourself fleet of software, marketing software that we're just offering to agents to make their lives easier. If they've got their own in-house photographer, if the brokerage they work for gives them a free virtual tour, that's okay. They don't have to use ours. You can use us for one or everything. It's all good, okay? All right, so you notice we have dynamic flyers and standard. I'm going to go through standard first because this is our original e-flyer product that we have had, for probably at least 15 years. Okay, so we're going to go through it first because it is still the one that everyone uses. And then the dynamic flyer is something new and we'll run through it quickly. They're very similar, but you'll see the difference. Okay, so I want to send out an e-flyer to advertise my listing. Basically, think of the e-flyer as a teaser that you're going to blast out to the real estate community and anyone else you want. And people are going to click on that e-flyer and the virtual tour is going to open up and they're going to get all the extra information because you can only have so much information in an e-flyer. So e-flyers typically link to virtual tours. All right, let's get started. Click on standard e-flyer and look, here we are again on the existing listings page, right? And I don't have to create my listing because I already did that, so it's sitting here. And again, just to save us some time, I'm not going to choose a new listing. I'm going to choose that 111 Main Street just because it already has all the content and we just went through the virtual tour. Under options, I am going to click create new because I do want to take you through the steps of making an e-flyer from start to finish. So let's click create new and it's going to bring me into the back end of the eFlyer creator. And I have a navigation bar that goes across the top. It's different than the virtual tour because the steps are different. But if I jumped back to the beginning, the first one is still property details. This is the exact same property details page as we saw in the photo shoot, and it's the same as we saw in the virtual tour. Okay, it's always the same, right? You never have to make it twice. If I make edits in here, it's going to edit automatically in the virtual tour as well. Okay, everything communicates with everything. All right, next up is existing e-flyers. So if I've had this listing for a while, maybe it's been on the market for a while, I may have already made 2 or 3 e-flyers. I might have told myself I'm going to do a little e-flyer campaign once a week for the next month. So I might have 3 or 4 existing flyers sitting in here. If I haven't got any existing ones, that's fine. This page is just empty for now, right? But just so you can see what it looks like, flyers on the left are ones that I have already blasted out, and I can see when I did the blast, how many people I blasted it to, which template I used. Under options, I can resend it, the exact same flyer. I can go in and make some edits and then resend it. I can also download a PDF of it, okay? So this is where I like to tell people the standard e-flyers are 8.5 by 11, okay, which is just the size of a regular piece of paper. Now, we did that on purpose because back in the day, before we had, more fancy digital options like MailChimp newsletters and all that stuff, right? Sending out 8.5 by 11 standard flyer that linked to the tour was all people needed. And then what we wanted was for people to be able to download a print quality PDF of that e-flyer so that they wouldn't have to go into the print materials and make another flyer for the same listing, right? You can if you want. If you want your print material for this listing to be different than the digital e-flyer, you can go into the print material and do whatever you want, but most people don't want to do that. They want to just create the e-flyer, blast it out, and then be able to download a PDF of it and print it, and they're done. Okay, so that's why our standard flyers are 8.5 by 11. Okay, um, let's go into the template library because we're going to create a new one. Okay, template library. Now we have hundreds of templates, and this is similar to when I was talking about retiring some of our older software. We have templates that are really, really old, and anytime I try to retire those out of the library, an agent will holler at me, "Oh my God, my favorite template's gone. Can you please bring it back?" So that's why we have so many templates because we've got clients who have been with us from the beginning, 20 years, and they're still blasting out e-flyers and they're still using that same template. They love it. That's fine with us. We will keep it in the library. Now, because we don't want you to have to go through what am I talking about? Hundreds and hundreds of templates, we've set up little categories over here to make it easier for you to search through the templates. Okay, so for example, maybe under styles and themes, I can open that up and I could say, oh, I want to look at open house templates. So if I click on that, the system is just going to load up the open house templates. And maybe I want it to be a specific color. Maybe my marketing is black, my logo is black. Okay, so I've got 3 open house templates with black in the design. Okay, so you can go, I'm going to untick these now. You can go through all of these and just have a look at the styles of templates we have. Okay, we have, cities, we have holiday themed ones for Christmas, whatever holiday. We have ones that feature a specific number of images, a specific number of listings. We have some that will feature 2 agents instead of 1. Okay, we also have blank templates, and I'm going to show you this because this is a very popular option. This is basically a blank template is just an empty shell. Okay, and a lot of our agents already have a finished flyer that maybe they have an in-house marketing department and someone's already made the flyer or they've made it themselves using Canva, whatever. As long as it's 8.5 by 11, they can upload a JPEG or a PDF of that flyer and then they can drag and drop it into the empty shell and then they can blast that out. Okay, so just like I said earlier, we do not insist that people use our templates in order to use our e-flyer system, okay? Using our templates is free. You're really only paying when you blast it out to how many emails you're going to blast it out to. So I always want to show people that because you might have an agent who's like, yeah, but I already have my own flyers, so I don't want to use Realtour. They can use their own flyers, okay? And then the last thing I'll show you at the very top is favorites. So when you land on the template library, you're always going to land on favorites. It's the default. It's because we have found over the years that most of our clients use the same 1 or 2 templates over and over and over again for all of their listings. And rather than having them have to go through the hassle of finding it, we just put it here. So anytime you use a template, it will be sitting here and you can go in and use it again, okay? And I'll mention one more quick thing. We also will customize templates for clients. So depending on what you want done, You might have a favorite template that you use of ours, but you want to get it tweaked or customized a little bit. Maybe you want the image fields to be bigger. Maybe you want to put your contact information, like embed that into the background so you never have to deal with it. You can hire us and we will customize a template anywhere from $20 up to $50 for a fully custom template. And I will make a specific category in the library. Like here's one for Stanfield Properties. They have all their own customized templates. So that's another service that we offer. And then only you get access to it. If you pay for a customized template, it's not in the library for everyone to use. I will make a special category and only you will have access to it. So I always like to mention that. Okay, so let's just say we're going to do that open house one. Here's the one I just showed you, open house. Under options, I'm going to hit select. Now, it takes a few seconds because the system is going to create the template and it's going to auto-populate it with as much content as it can, depending on how much content I've already filled in. Now I'm on the edit template page and here is my flyer. Look at that. Other than the big green image fields, everything else is already in the template, right? It's auto-populated. All my contact information, all my text, the price, the property description, all that good stuff is already in here. So this is why I always say to people, take a few minutes and fill it in on the property details page, right? Because then it will save you time. Look at it. It's already in here waiting for me. Now, that doesn't mean I can't edit it. You'll notice if I mouse over any of these text fields, they're live. So I can click on them and do edits. So for example, let's say I've only got 111 Main Street. I should probably put some more information. I click on this, up pops a little text editor over here on the left, and I can just type right in here, right? There we go. Okay, and then we give our agents a few options for editing the text. Not a lot because we don't want them to go crazy. But you can highlight this, and I could make it bold. I could center it. I could make the font size bigger or smaller, that kind of thing, right? And when I'm done, I just hit. I can change the color too if you wanted it to be a different color. When I'm done, I just hit save. And the template is going to render that change right here in front of me. And now I get to see the change. So this is a nice feature just because I don't have to leave this page and go and see the change and then come back. Any changes I make to this template are going to happen right here in front of me, okay? I can also click on a text field and make it empty. Like just because the price is in here doesn't mean I have to have the price. I can delete that text and I could type in call agent for more information, or I could just delete it and hit save, and then it's going to re-render again, and then there's just going to be a nice empty space there if I don't want that text there. And if I mouse over, I can bring it back. Okay? So that's all you're going to do with the text. It's super easy. Next up is getting my imagery in here. So over here on the left, the default is your still photography because that's what you're going to put into this presentation. Here are all my little thumbnails. Mine are already here because I either booked a photo shoot and the photographer uploaded them, or I already made my virtual tour and uploaded them myself, or if I'm just using Realtour for e-flyers, this might be empty. And then under photos, I would just upload my images and then they show up here as little thumbnails, okay? When I wanna put them into the template, I just click and I drag and drop them over, okay? Scroll down, drag and drop them. Let's get one of the kitchen. Ooh, let's get a bedroom. This house has a swimming pool. Let's grab a swimming pool. Beautiful. Okay, so there they are in the template. Now you'll notice that they don't quite fit the image fields as nicely as the original layout. But when I hit save images, template's going to render. It's always a little slow on webinar, so I apologize. My system's always a little slower. Once it's rendered them, you'll notice it has resized them to fit the image windows without distorting them, okay? So we will zoom in, we'll enlarge your picture, tops and bottoms, so they fill the image field. We don't distort them, okay? So different templates have different sized image fields. Some image fields, like this particular template, this main image field is pretty square. So I'm gonna have to choose a picture that looks good. Or I might want to choose a different template that has a very landscapey image field, right? You'll have to go through the templates and see what you like, okay? Because we do have ones that feature different shapes and sizes, okay? If I don't like the picture I've used, every picture has an X. I can delete to remove the image. I could drag a different image over top of it and render it again. It's really simple to use. If for some reason there's an image on here that I don't want, like maybe I don't want the QR code, I can delete that image field. And again, the system's going to render the template. So I can delete the QR code, and now it's just a regular image field. So I could drag a different image over. Maybe I have a second logo, right? I could go into my logos, and here are all my logos that I've uploaded. I could drag a different logo over there or something else, or I can just delete the image field altogether, let the template render, and then what's going to show up at the finished product is just the black background. I can restore it, but when we go to the proof page, you'll just see a nice black background because I deleted it. Okay? All right, so a few more things. So basically, my flyer looks good. It's pretty much ready. Under my options, subject. Okay. When you send out an e-flyer, it's just like you're basically sending an email to somebody, right? So you're going to want to have a subject line. In fact, you have to by law. You can't just send something empty. So you're going to type in something that will get people's attention. Remember, you're sending these e-flyers out to other real estate agents for the most part. So you're going to type in something. We'll leave this to the real estate agents because they're the experts at this, okay? Hit save, there's your subject. Also, additional links. Now, as I said, the virtual tour, or sorry, the e-flyer, when someone receives it in their inbox, if they click on it, it's going to play a virtual tour. Now, we are assuming, right, that if you are using us for e-flyers, you might also be using us for virtual tours. So, and we're assuming that if someone gets your e-flyer, they're going to click on it and open the virtual tour because look at this e-flyer. It's only 8.5 by 11. You can only have so much content, but the virtual tour has everything in it. It might have all 30 or 40 pictures. It's going to have your videos, your floor plans, all that good stuff, right? So the assumption is you're going to want this to link to the virtual tour. So to save you some time, we have just created a link right here, view the virtual tour, and here's the link. You don't have to do anything. However, as I have said before, you do not have to use our virtual tours in your e-flyers, okay? If you have an in-house virtual tour or you pay a different company to make your virtual tours, that's fine. These text fields are editable, okay? So you could keep view the virtual tour, but you could delete this and copy and paste in whatever link you want, okay? You could also delete this and have no links at all. And then this will just show up as an image in someone's inbox. They click on it, nothing happens. You can add additional links as well, right? Like, for example, maybe you want visit my website and you're going to have www.jana.com, whatever your website is. Maybe you want to add another one, something like visit Austin, and www.austin.com. Okay. So you can have as many links as you want, and I'll show you where they appear on the flyer. I'm going to hit save links. Okay, last but not least, social media. If you have social media accounts for your real estate business and you've already filled them in under my account, put in the URLs, little icons are going to show up here. And then these will be attached with the e-flyer as well. If you don't want them, you just deselect them and they won't be there. Okay? All right, that's all we have to do to edit our template or create our template. Next up is continue to view proof. And I can click here or I can use my navigation bar. All right, view proof. This is, without a doubt, the most important part of making an e-flyer. And I know it sounds silly, but you would be utterly amazed at how many panicked phone calls we get pretty much every day from an agent who has just blasted out an e-flyer to 5,000 people and there's a mistake in it. There's a typo or like, look, Saturday, the open house, August 20th. That's not right. That was just, text in the back of oh my God, that's the wrong date. Or, oh my God, I forgot the price. Or I didn't put my phone number. Whatever silly thing, someone's going to do it. I guarantee it. So I always say to agents, please, please, please take 5 minutes and view the proof. Okay. We've got everything in here. So starting at the top, here's the subject text that's going to show up in someone's subject header in their inbox. Here's the actual flyer. Scroll down, make sure everything looks good, proofread it. Down here at the bottom are the links. View my virtual tour, website, visit Austin. You can click on these and test that they go to the right locations. Here's my social media. Okay? Super easy. You can also click on client proof. You could put in your client's email address, type them a little message. Hey, Bob, here's the flyer. I'm going to send it out tomorrow. What do you think? Send them a proof. They will get a picture of this exact thing, right? And then they can sign off on it, or they can say, you know what? Really don't like that main picture. Could you change it? And look, I'm in the back end. I can jump back to the edit template, change my picture, jump back to view proof, send him another proof, right? Take 5 minutes, view the proof. Okay, we're almost done. Last but not least, distribution. How am I going to blast this flyer out to the real estate community? Okay, when you land on the distribution page, the default method is our map blast tool. It's what most people use. It's super easy. Basically, what we are looking at is a Google map. We've got a little marker in the middle. This is your listing address, okay? Whatever the listing address is, that's what the little marker is going to be. And then to get you started, we create a little target area, a little blast radius that has a minimum of 5,000 agents, right? Just to get you started, okay? Now, you'll notice this is a Google map. I can move around. I can zoom out. I can zoom in, okay? Just so you know, you can move around. And over here on the right, we have a little price table. So I can see that in my target area 1, which is this, I have just over 8,000 agents. It's going to cost me $49.89. But because you guys are FATCO, any of your clients will get a 25% discount, which means they will actually only be paying $37.41. Okay. So any clients that you guys either sign up or are affiliated with you, they will see a discount price in here. Anybody else does not see a discount price, okay? Now, if I'm thinking, ooh, that's a lot of agents. I really don't need this to go to 8,000 agents. I can click on my little target area and make it smaller, and I can also move it around, right? Let's just put it right there. Oh, now I've got just like about 1,200 agents for 20 bucks, 14 bucks if you've got the discount. That's much better. That seems much more, doable. If you want to have an additional target area for whatever reason, you just click add a target area and we create another one right next to the first one so you don't lose it. And then I can zoom out and maybe I want to, for whatever reason, I want to hit right downtown Austin. Okay? Who knows? You can do whatever you want. There we go. Now the second area has, oh, more than the first area for an additional $14, $13. The whole thing's going to cost me $23 because I have a discount. Okay. Most people will just have one target area, maybe two. On occasion, we'll get agents who want to do a blast to like the main cities, right? So they'll have 4 big target areas over the big cities. Okay. And I will say that we are just about to go live with a new version of this page where the map is actually the full width of the page. So it will be that much easier to use. I'm hoping to go live with that next week. So the next time you come in here, you might be greeted with a much larger map, which will be much easier to use. Okay. All right. So as I said, our database is full of real estate agents who are located geographically, or their offices are located geographically in these target areas. But you might also want to send your e-flyer to other people who maybe aren't real estate agents or are not in these geographical areas. So next to target areas, we have add contacts. You can type in or copy and paste any additional email addresses you want right here, okay? Or if you have your own little database that you've set up an Excel spreadsheet or something, you can upload a spreadsheet. All the names will show up here. If you think you're probably going to send all your e-flyers this year to the same list of preferred clients or whoever else, and you don't want to go through this step every single time, you can enter all their addresses once and then you can give that distribution list a name, like my best clients of spring 2025, hit send, and then they will show up here as a little list. So I could, in addition to the map, all the people I put from the map, I could also tick a couple of my favorite other people and they will also get added to the blast and the price, okay? And then finally, setting a send date. The default is automatically, right? Meaning the default send out date is once you have paid for it, it goes into the queue and it will start to go out. Okay. But if you're a really organized person or you're going to be out of town, you want to make your flyer ahead of time. do the whole target area, and pay for it, you can choose a date in the future. So for example, I might be making my flyer today, but I actually want it to go out Friday. So I tick Friday. I want it to go out in the early morning. Okay. Then I'm going to add this to the shopping cart and pay for it, and then it will enter the queue on Friday morning. The danger of doing this is that some people forget to add it to the cart and pay for it, and then they call me and say, I didn't get my flyer. And I'll go into their account and I'll see that it's sitting there. You have to pay for the flyer. It won't go out if you don't pay for it. It will just sit in your account or sit in your shopping cart. Okay, so don't forget to add it to the shopping carts where you'll get a chance to review the price, how many people, what time, there's my discount, blah, 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 and then pay for it and it goes out. Okay. I'm going to delete this out of the shopping cart because we don't want to blast that out. Okay, I know we are at almost at the hour mark. I just have one more quick thing I really want to show you guys, and that is the dynamic flyer. Okay, I just want to show you the difference between a dynamic flyer and a standard flyer. Dynamic flyers are relatively new. We just launched them about 2 months ago or so. Um, where more and more people are using them, you will see that the difference between the two basically is that the standard flyer is 8.5 by 11, as I keep saying, so that you can print it. And it's basically a static image. That's what people receive in their inbox, a static image of your flyer, and then you click on it to watch the virtual tour. Dynamic flyers are not static, they're HTML, okay? So you can't download and print them, but when you get them in your inbox, you can have clickable links, you can click on the images and open up a slideshow, all that stuff. So I'm just going to very quickly walk us through because making a dynamic flyer is very, very similar, but there's just a few differences. Once again, I land on my listing page, right? Same, it's always the same. I'm going to choose 111 Main Street. I'm going to click on Create New. Here I am in the back end. I have the exact same navigation bar as the standard flyer. Now it's going to take me right to the library because I've already done my property details. I already have existing flyers. I'm in the library. You'll notice in the library, I can toggle between standard flyer templates and dynamic. Okay. Dynamic templates, we only have 4. Okay, and that's just because this is a relatively new product. Once it gets more popular and people start using it, I will start designing more templates for people to use. Okay, let's just say I'm going to use this first template. Under options, I'm going to click select. The system is going to create the template just like it did for standards. And now I'm in the back end. Now, if I scroll down, you'll just see how much longer and bigger this template is and how much more content I can have in the templates, okay? My little images are over here in the little image library. That's all the same. These are all the same. Everything is the same. The differences are things like this. So let's say I want to edit this text. I click in here. My little text editor opens up right here. Instead of being over here on the left, it's right here. I can select my text. I can do similar things like bold, just like I could before, but I can choose different fonts, which is kind of nice, right? I can make the font size enormous if I want, right? I can also click in here and hit enter, and I can add more text. So this text field will grow longer as I keep adding more text, okay? I can also choose between a whole lot of colors, right, if I want to. And then when I'm done, I hit save and it's going to save it instantly. So the system doesn't have to render. We don't have to watch it spin. This is HTML. It's going to save it instantly. Okay, I mean, I know that looks terrible, but I just wanted to show you what you could do. And just like in the standard, if there's a text field that I don't want, I can just delete that and it's gone. And then I can mouse over and bring it back if I want to. Okay, my pictures. Look at the size of these image fields. They're huge, which is fabulous. All I do is drag and drop my images over just like I did in the other one. I don't have to hit render. They show up automatically, which is great, right? Because this is HTML. Let's get a couple. This doesn't matter because I'm just showing you guys. Bathroom. There we go. And just like in the standard flyer, every image field has a delete button. So I could delete the image and drag something else. I could drag an image over top, or I could delete these image fields altogether if I don't want them. Maybe there's just too many images. And then all the content underneath will shift up and fill in the space. Here is my property description. Again, I can click in here and make edits. I can also make text linkable. So I could highlight some text, click on the link icon, and put in a URL, okay, if I wanted to. I could also like add the MLS listing, whatever it is, right? And then highlight this and make it link to the actual MLS URL, which is also really nice. Anytime I make changes, I hit save, it automatically saves it. Another nice thing about the dynamic flyers, you'll notice here, we've included all the listing features that you had on your property details page. A standard flyer doesn't have that because there isn't room for it. So if I want to keep this, great. If I don't, I can hide it and it disappears, okay? But I can also click in here and further edit it if I need to. So that's nice. And then down at the bottom, again, it's just the footer, but it's much bigger, my headshot, my logo, which will link to my website, assuming I've included my website here. These are all clickable, right? If someone's looking at this on their phone, they can tap the phone number, they can tap the email address, they can tap my website and go there. And just like the standard flyer, you can still have this link to a virtual tour or any other link that you want it to. Okay. And then if I go to the view proof, just like before, I can view a proof of everything. I can click on these pictures and they will open up a slideshow in an, oh, whoops, sorry, it's not paid for. They'll open up a slideshow in a new tab and I can watch a whole slideshow of all the images, not just the ones that are included in here, okay? What I always say to people, think of the dynamic flyer as a cross between a standard flyer and a virtual tour. It's kind of all of them rolled into one. So me personally, I would always do a dynamic flyer over a standard one, okay? And then distribution is the exact same process that we just went through for the standard flyer, and the pricing is exactly the same. So dynamic flyers are not more expensive than standard flyers. They are all the same, and your clients will get a 25% discount, okay? So I will, now that we're just to segue into the discount part, because we're basically done going through the products, just so you guys know, any of your clients that you sign up or you send to me, you can always send them to me and I can sign them up and assign them to you. They will get a 25% discount on all of our products except, and I hate to say this, except for photography. And that is only because our photographers, they're not direct employees of ours. They work with us as like contractors, they're freelance photographers. They set their own pricing and their own packaging, and we can't discount their photography, unfortunately. But your clients will get the 25% discount on the virtual tours, any of the flyers they want to send, print material if they want to make print material. Even if they want a customized template, they'll get a 25% discount on that as well. Okay, I'm gonna go back to the dashboard. I realize I have just talked your ears off for just over an hour. If anybody has any questions, you can ask me now. I can stay on and chat with you. Or if you think of something later, you can always email me or you can email Cindy. Um, if you want to chat about getting yourself set up or getting your client set up and you want more information, you can reach out to me. Um, Anybody can make a Realtour account. So you guys can make a Realtor account, your agents can make accounts. It's free. There are no subscription fees. You don't pay monthly, nothing. Anybody can make a Realtor account for free. You only pay for the products that you make. And you'll notice I just went through and showed you guys how to make all these products and I didn't pay for anything, right? When I got to the shopping cart, I just deleted whatever product it was out of the shopping cart. So you yourselves, if you wanted to, you can make an account, you can make a fake listing, you can upload a couple pictures, and you can try out the software for yourself if you want to. And then one final thing I will say, if you ever have an agent who's interested in this, you can always send the agent to me and I can do a run through of the products, right? Just like I'm doing, like Cindy reached out to me and said, hey, can you do an overview of the products to a bunch of people? Like she doesn't have to do it herself. You don't have to do it yourself either. You can if you want, you're welcome to. Or you could say, you know what, Jana, can you meet me on a webinar? I've got a couple agents who are going to join us. Can you show them how to use the products? Okay. So I'm happy to do any training or tutorials for you. All right. Does anybody have any questions or anything they want to chat about? We're good? Okay. I will stop the recording. And then, like I said, you guys can reach out to me at any time if you have any questions or anything like that. Okay?